Allow good deep breaths to start to flow. Nice inhales. Good relaxing exhales. And the quality that we're trying to connect with today is the quality of groundedness. Specifically, today we're working on the psoas. This is a big, major muscle that's important for lifting our knee up closer to our chest. So every time we take a step, we have to use that psoas to help lift that knee, and then that helps us to take that step forward. And so it's very significant with our root chakra, helping us to use our legs effectively. And so the psoas, I'm going to talk just a little bit about that muscle group itself, and then we're going to do different things that both help to strengthen it and then help to lengthen it. And this will be more or less the major theme throughout class. Obviously, we put on other stuff as we go through yoga. But that psoas, it's basically three muscles that kind of work together. The highest point of it connects to the T12, so the last thoracic rib area, that vertebrae. And then the lowest part of it connects to the lowest rib, so right before it turns into our hips. So it's a pretty big span, and then it wraps all the way around, kind of around the front of the hip, tucking under to insert on more of the inside of that femur bone area. And so anytime we lift our leg, those muscles contract, getting tighter, and that's what allows the knee to lift. So we'll be playing with that muscle group more than anything else today. And think of grounding down, that grounded quality. It's more of a quality of earth. So earth is heavy, it's slower, it's very kind of balanced. Like the bigger a root system a tree has, the more balanced it is when the wind starts to blow. And it's very nurturing. So think of the roots picking up all the nutrients of earth, bringing it into the tree. So these grounding qualities are very healthy and helpful for our body, especially when we've got stress and different things that are trying to bring us up to more like higher earth, air, ether type elements. So today is more of a come back down to the heaviness, the slowness of earth. And that's our theme for today. And so with all that in the back of our head to get us started, let's start to take our knees into the chest. A hand on each knee. We'll start to just take easy rocking movements left and right. So when we're sitting in a chair, kind of like how the knees are in right now, that brings that psoas to the shortest possible configuration. So that psoas tends to get extra tight for people that sit for long periods of the day. Good. So back to stillness with the spine. We'll do a couple of core things that lift the legs up so that we can start to warm up that psoas a little bit. So the first things first, what we're going to do is take the right leg straight up to the sky, use the hips to grab onto the back side of that leg. Left leg hovers right above the ground. So as left leg lifts up to sky, we're engaging that psoas. That's what we feel in the hip. And then hand switch to that side, right leg lowers to be right above the ground. We're going to go through that a couple of times. Try to keep the leg straight. The leg that's up, you're welcome to grab onto it to support it. And then especially feel the lift of the leg up each time. I like to incorporate my exhale for that lift section. So here we'll take another 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, 1, and 1. And then take the knees to that bent shape, a hand on each knee again. Take a few more simple little movements for the low back. From here, set up the knees at a nice 90-degree angle. Hands can be on the floor. Some people go closer to the hips. Some people go a little bit wider out. It's up to you, but keep the knees locked at 90 degrees. And then start to let the knees get sent a little bit further from our torso. And then exhale, bring the knees back in. Pay attention to low back. When the knees go out, we're not allowed to lift low back off the ground. So you're only going as far as you're not actually lifting. Occasionally there's people that can get to the point of toes touching the ground and then knees back in, but that would be only if you don't have to arch the low back to get there. You don't need to aggravate that. Feel how once again, when you get to that part where you're squeezing the knees in, that's where we're really feeling that psoas. Take another 3 rounds if you're doing okay. Good. After the 3 rounds, feet flat close to the glutes. We're going to take our block, place it on in between our thighs, and start to squeeze your thighs inward into the block. This helps to set up our hips in a good arrangement. Hands are on the floor right next to the hips. Let's take a few bridge poses. So tailbone scoops under, start to lift the vertebrae up one at a time. Bring up to a nice high flat place, keep squeezing into the block, and roll back down one vertebrae at a time. Feel all those areas around the hips. They're engaging, as well as other helpful muscles. Glutes, quads, and back muscles. Let's take 3 more of these lifts. So here we're going for 3. And relax. 2. And 1. Good. Remove the block. We're going to stretch the legs directly up to the sky now. You can either not use block at all or scoot the block up more in between the calf area here. So your personal preference. This is going to be our last one for warming up that area at this moment. So for this one, I personally do tuck my thumbs a little bit under my hips just to keep that little tuck of the low back more active, more engaged. And so legs are straight as possible, squeezing into the block if you're using it. And same thing here, you can't lift the low back, so lower to the point where low back is still flat on the ground. It takes a lot of core strength. You get to whatever angle that is, squeeze it back in. This one's pretty intense, so we'll only go for about 5 more. Down and up. 4. And again, just a 45-degree angle is fine too. Don't feel like you have to go super far at all. Taking another 3. 2. And 1. Good. Grab your block. So now is going to be the first real stretch that we're starting to take for that psoas area. So to get into the stretch, lift the hips up, roll all the way up to the point where you can start to slide the block right under the hips. So I personally like to go for the really tall height, but there's 3 options with the block. So you can go with medium, you can go with small. It's whatever will comfortably work for your body. And then whenever you've got that set up, and make sure it's under sacrum. If it's on bumpy vertebrae, it's going to be much more uncomfortable, so it's kind of like right by the hips. Okay, so from here, right heel starts to slide out long, and that's, on the ground, so just resting on the earth. Yeah, so that's the psoas stretch. So with us connecting various points of our body to the earth and taking that psoas to a huge stretch, let's just send a couple of really good, slow breaths to this area. Breathing is a tremendous way in which we can ground. The different strengthening things we just did, that takes our energy kind of out of our roots. It takes it more into our head where it's like, I have to just keep on going, this is hard. And so this is our chance here to go back down to slow earth groundedness. Another huge inhale. Exhale. Start to slide the right foot back in where it was. Take time for that left leg to go. Feel it reach out nice and long. I like to try to send my breath to my belly, because that belly breath allows a little bit extra oxygen, and it makes it go just a little slower. Let's take another huge breath in. Nice exhale. And then left foot slides in. We're going to take a couple of breaths to let both heels slide out, so both sides stretching together. So know that if you're in the tallest height for the blocks, sometimes that's a little intense for that hip stretch. So if you want to bump it down at all, that's perfectly fine. And then when you're ready for both legs to slide out long, go right ahead. We've got the hips much more open after having taken a stretch. Also got all sorts of goodies going on, the nice back bend, a little bit of compression at the throat, that's healthy for thyroid. And perhaps this is a very different shape than how you normally take posture throughout the day. So just feel this chance to kind of counter what our body is normally doing. Enjoy one more slow, deep inhale. Even longer exhale. And we'll take the feet back in to safely exit. So once the feet are in, lift the hips up off the floor. Gradually return the spine back down to floor. The moment when you touch down, since the sacrum was elevated for quite a while, it might take a moment to readjust. So I like to start off with kind of like a shimmy dance. I'm just pushing one hip into the ground and then pushing the other hip, kind of rocking back and forth. So give that hip, that sacrum, a little bit of opportunity to feel good. We'll take a few bonus stretches while we're here on our back as well. So right leg, just take it up to the sky. Feel that space in the low back being a little bit more available, especially after that sacral massage we got. So hands are grabbing onto right leg, just pull it in as deep as it wants to go. We're gonna start to take the right ankle to the left side. This is the figure 4 stretch, so hands can thread around the left side. Just make sure whenever you set up the hug, the head is able to comfortably relax back to the floor. And make sure that there's not too much neck tension. Yeah, so if the hug is a little bit too much, just use your right hand on the right knee to push it open instead. Let's release right foot down to ground. Left leg takes a turn, stretching up to sky. Notice how even though we've got something trying to stretch away from ground, see if you can still feel the sensation of the hip connecting and plugging into its socket. So still being grounded, even though it's reaching up, we're still finding that connection back to the roots, back to the earth. Take that left ankle to right side, figure 4 stretch. Hug around the right side. One last breath, just relaxing right here. And then as we start to uncross the ankle, we're going to roll up, trying to stick it in a boat pose. So we're rolling our way up, trying to balance up on the hips. If you need to use the floor, that's perfectly fine. Thighs is the next easy option. Hands without makes it a bit harder. So staying right here, one leg at a time, it's going to stretch out and then try to bring its way close in, then switch. Second leg out and in. Another little aspect of strengthening for that psoas. Out, in, out, in. Let's do another 3 each side if you're doing okay. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Grab onto the ankles, let the knees start to go wide. Set the legs down into cobbler's pose. Spine is welcome to just continue to relax up and over. Bring the spine up, right leg takes a chance to straighten out in front of us. Just ease your spine over that right leg. forward fold position do make that psoas short, but the psoas is pretty warm, and so you'll feel the contrast in what you're experiencing in those hip flexors in just a moment when we get back to some kneeling postures. Easy rise up to switch out the legs. Give it some patience. If the knee ever needs to be a little bit bent just to help it out, that can help the low back feel quite a bit better. Rising up, see about both legs going out in front. Again, bent knee, perfectly safe, perfectly fine. Straighter as if the hips don't pull you back. More breath cycles. And let's make our way to a nice kneeling place. So knees underneath us. Do a couple of cat cows, helping the muscles at the back join the party. Easy dropping belly down. Easy rounding spine up. Not anything about a rush. This is about listening to those back muscles and moving at a speed that's helpful. Take 2 more full rounds. Then spine back to neutral. The right knee is going to lift up off the ground, so we're bouncing mostly on that left. The right knee comes in, roll into the nose, fill the spine round, and then keep the knee in a bent shape as it lifts up. Try to arch like the belly dropping down version of the cow. So curl the knee in, cat. The knee lifts up, arch, cow. Take another 3. Short psoas. Up, long psoas. 2. Last one would be come up. Stay with the foot up high. You can try out the balance here. See if the left hand can grab the toes that are not grabbed. Sometimes it can't happen. That's okay. Just keep on balancing there. Maybe the arm just floats to the side. If you do find the connection, see if you can get the hand and the foot to lift a little bit high. Good. One more inhale. Exhale. Release hand-foot connection. The right knee goes to the ground. That's like the grounded version now. Left knee works its way into nose. And lift to try to pull the psoas to the stretch. Good. Repeating 4. And lift. 3. 2. One. Stay. Maybe right hand balances up to the side, or maybe right hand can grab the toes. If the connection happens, push up. Good. One more inhale. Exhale, soft release. And let's take it up to downward facing dog. Give the hips, give the legs a little bit of mobility. And as we start to lift the right leg up to the sky, bend the knee, so you're starting to point the toes to your neighbor, and see if you can continue to send the toes a little bit further to the side as if you're trying to poke your knee. Good. One more breath in. And then straighten leg back up. Step that right foot slowly in between hands. Back knee lowers down to ground. And what we're going to do is make sure when we sink our hips forward, first and foremost, knee doesn't go past toes. So if that starts to happen, the foot needs to go a little further forward. Also have block close by on that left side. So hips sink forward. Let's lift our hand up to the thighs for a moment. You start to feel that stretch through hip flexors. To really get deeper into the psoas, what we're going to do is take a slight back bend from here. So the left fingers, slide the block back close to the knee area. Those left fingers stay on the block for the stability. Keep sinking the hips forward. And then the right hand is going to come behind the back of the head, so the head can continue to arch all the way up and down. So it gets that psoas really deep. One more huge inhale. Exhale. Start to release the head. And then rise up out of the back bend. And then the hips go over the back knee, front leg can straighten. Let's just take that nice stretch for hamstring. Pull it out. Use block if needed. Hands to floor if not. Another really good inhale. And then exhale, we're going to start sending this leg back. Some might choose to take a flow here. Some might choose to just take a child pose. So it's your choice. If you're taking slow, we're in the nice plank. Lowering chaturanga. Enjoy the back bend. And tucking the toes, downward facing dog. Little movements can help our body continue to get more and more limber. You wanted to reach under to scoot the block to the other half of your mat, you're welcome to here. If you can balance on down dog, it's kind of a fun challenge. And then when you're ready to start shifting, left leg floats up to sky. Bend the knee, sending the toes to point at your neighbor. And then see if you can keep on getting the toes closer and closer and closer to your neighbor. More and more and more length through the front. Good. Start to straighten the leg back up to sky. Step that foot in between hands, that foot lower. Do the little test, make sure the knee doesn't go past the toes as the hips sink forward. And we'll start to rise up, hands to thigh. Hips are already sinking. So from here to head to that psoas stretch, I like to have that block kind of by the knee. The right fingers are on it. Hips are still sinking forward. And the left hand behind the head so that head can just relax back to the arch. Good. One more huge breath in. Nice exhale. Take the head out, and then come out of the back bend, and then start to shift to the hamstring. Dropping hands to block or floor. Okay, start to send that left leg back. Again, you can do child pose or a flow, personal preference, whatever's going to work for our body. Beautiful. And then lowering down to knees. Where we're going to head to next is a variation of a forearm plank. So, in forearm plank is elbows down. If you need to have toes tucked, if the variation I offer is a little bit too intense, that's the next option you have. But what we're going to try to do to get the psoas to work for us is keep the toes pointed and press into the tops of the feet to try to lift the hips up into the plank. That's the variation we're going to try to take. I'm going to do a slow countdown from 10. So, when you're ready, lift up. Here is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and lower hips down directly into Sphinx pose. Hands plant. Try to drag the hands toward your heart without actually moving it. So instead the belly gets brought under, forward and through. Beautiful. Lowering the hands to plant. We're going to just kind of slowly roll up to any version of cobra. The spine rolls up. It doesn't have to be as deep as anybody else. It could be a nice baby cobra. And just use the arm shake to lower back down. Rolling up another 4. And bend the elbows to low. 3. 2. And 1. Good. Tuck the toes. Try to lift directly up to downward facing dog. We hear about 3 breaths, so try to keep the hips lifting higher. Slight bend to the knees is totally fine. That will take some of the curvature out of the back. One more good inhale. Exhale. Start to walk your feet up to the top of the mat, forward fold. Just enjoy one more bonus breath, bringing it down like this. Good inhale. Good exhale. Inhale, rise. I like to circle the arms to the side, it's like arch. And hands to heart. So another little aspect of that psoas strengthening, we're going to start to float our right knee in front of us. Hands come into the waist. So from here, balance back, touch the toes down. We're coming up kind of like a variation of warrior 1. And then balance right back up. Good. Another 5, 4, 3, 2. This last one, stay. Either be exactly in this shape if the balance is about where it's at right here, or take a little twist. Left hand to the leg, right hand starting to open up behind. Good. Return forward. Slowly step the foot all the way back, and then land the toes, land the heel, everything is a nice warrior 1, arms straight up the sky. Good. So start to take the hands to the hips, making sure hips are square forward, shorten the stance if needed. And then what we're gonna do is start working the front leg straight. So about halfway down, and then bend it, come up, slight arch back. Good. Straighten the front leg, so about halfway down. And if you're wanting to get even deeper, pop up onto the back toes. When we take the arch, lower the hips even further. Good. So you can rotate that back heel up and down if that's working for balance. Here's another 3. And to the hip length. 2. And 1. Beautiful. Go back down to the point where both heels are flat, hips are square. We go to that halfway forward point, and then we'll start to lower hands down. So maybe hands end up at shin. Maybe we grab our block for a hand. Some people can easily, safely do hands to floor without just sacrificing the straightness of the front. As we shift to the second side, we're going to try to go through standing split. The hands go forward, back leg floats. If anybody wants to try to walk fingers closer and closer to that standing foot, that's fine. Wherever you're at, just one more breath in. Out. Both feet land close to one another. Let the hips have some wiggles, getting some of that tightness out of the glutes. And we'll work our way up to stand. Bend the knees, roll up, or just circle the arms up. Good. Hands to heart. Second side, starting with balancing left knee in. Goes back, soft touch. And exhale, rise up now. Good. Here's 5. Straight for Psoas. 4. Your front foot rounded. 3. 2. And 1. Stay. Maybe stay exactly here, facing forward. Maybe start to twist. Beautiful. Back forward. A warrior 3. Soft pose. Maybe heel lands as well. You might be popping up and down like you were playing with before, just depending on what sets in the psoas. But take hands to hips. So turn the square forward. Front leg straightens. Go about halfway down. We're trying to fill our hips. So torso up, knee bends. Maybe we need to pop the back heel to go down. Good. 15, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And then set up our legs for staying forward. So hips are forward, both toes are flat. 2 straight legs. It's that halfway forward tilt. Then hands are welcome to go to shin, block, floor. Now, standing split, the hands go forward, the back leg circle lift as high as possible. Sometimes this is about all we can balance with. Sometimes closer to the standing foot, or you're gonna wrap around it. Back side of the calf. One more inhale. Exhale, land the feet. Let the hips and the knees have some wiggles if there's tightness. Good. So from here, take a half lift and fly up the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Start to step the feet back. If you'd like to take a flow, take a flow. Otherwise, head straight to down dog. Good. So right leg lifts up to sky. Briefly go back to that favor stretch. Good. Leg back up. Step this right foot in between the hands. Back knee lowers down. Front leg straightens. Slide your block in with the left hand. And the goal here is to just go as comfortably forward towards splits as we need to feel the stretch on the front of the left side. So we'll start to go forward. Sometimes about halfway there with a little bit of arch up with the spine is about what it takes to get whatever angle that is. Even playing with the variation we did before, just kind of letting the head tilt back, that's perfectly fine. Good. Take one more inhale. Exhale, shift some of your weight back. This front leg is going to turn into pigeon pose. So take that leg, swivel it off to the left, top side of the mat, so then you can drop down. Back knee scoots back. We will take the sleeping pigeon in a moment, but start off with a little bit of the back bend to get that psoas stretch. So use the block, you can use your hands on the thigh or the floor, but the idea is to lift up, and it's not just a crunch up, it's trying to lengthen and then arch. Good. Take one more huge inhale. And exhale, softly lower to hands and elbows. Good sleeping pigeon. yourself grounding into those hips. Long, slow inhale. Relaxing exhale. Some of us might take it to kneeling, others up to down dog to help this hip feel good. A little bit of recovery. Go either way, add some mobility, shifting around. Have those 2 stretches for the other side. So up to down dog if you're not there. Lift left leg up. Rotate the hip open to pull your neighbor. You're going to send the toes far that way. Good. Straighten leg back up. Step the foot under and through. And we're going to try to go through the psoas stretch for more of a split action. So maybe we've got the block with the right hand, arching up as the leg tries to go forward. Maybe we can put our hips over the back knee and just take the back bend. That's another variation to get there. So whatever helps us stretch hamstring and psoas. Another good inhale. Exhale. Send some weight back. And then that front foot will turn into pigeon pose. Swivel the knee off to the left, the toes off to the right. Remember to take the psoas stretch first, the flexor stretch. So up to a bit of a back bend. Lengthen the spine up, arch back. Beautiful. Go ahead and drop down. Another good inhale. Exhale. Where we at? To the recovery pose, kneeling or down dog. Slow movement. And then we'll start to head down to our back when that feels good. Feet walk close by. You have 2 options here as we're heading down to our back. If upward facing bow pose, the back bend, flipping up into it is in your practice, you're welcome to do that here. If that's not what you want to go for, we're going to take that same hip opener that we did for the psoas at the beginning with the block under our hips, maybe a medium height, maybe taller if your psoas isn't uncomfortable with it or the back bend, but sliding the legs long. So either variation is absolutely beautiful, but this is one last chance to take a little back bend, to take the psoas into a really good stretch. Take one more good inhale. Exhale. Slide the feet in. Lift up to remove block. Give your body 30 seconds or so of recovery. Maybe this is just hugging the knees and rocking. Maybe it's plow pose or happy baby or any other last little movements, last little twist to each side. Things that just feel nice for hips and back. And then when you start to feel really good and comfortable, you'll make your way down to just a comfortable laying posture, maybe legs straight today. If there's any low back aggravation, knees bent is fine. And I'm gonna guide us through a little progressive body relaxation technique. This will help us to feel more grounded, a deeper sense of release into the earth once we're there. So all you have to do is when I name a body part, contract that area for a count of 5. I'll do the countdown. After the 5, completely relax the muscles. They're absolutely released. So you're ready. We're starting off with the feet. Let the feet be as contracted as possible. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Completely release. The feet from here on out are relaxed. And contract the calves. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Calves are completely relaxed. Contract the thighs and hips and glutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Completely relaxed. Contract the torso, so abdominal, back, chest. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Completely relaxed. Contract arms and hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Completely relaxed. Shoulders and neck. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Completely relaxed. Lastly, all the facial muscles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Completely relax. With that relaxation, feel this kind of a sensation that it's like the surface area on the ground. It's so relaxed that it's like you're spreading out like pancake batter. It's the whole body so grounded. We'll be here for several minutes, just letting our body relax in this state of such calm groundedness. Okay, let's begin to deepen our inhales. Your exhales. Start to introduce movement back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out like you're waking up first thing in the morning. Essentially taking a nice fetal position off to one side. And start to connect while you're here to your favorite aspect of grounding. Maybe it's the healing, nurturing side. Maybe it's the balancing side. Maybe it's that removal of static electricity side. Just kind of choose an aspect and just enjoy another 2 or 3 breaths laying on your side like this. Essentially pressing our way up to a comfortable seated place when you feel ready. So with our hand-picked favorite aspect of groundedness, with that aspect to help lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together today with the sound of oh, a deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.